Theological Thursday.
Yes. 3, 4, 5. All right. I should be live.
I'm waiting for the picture. It says you are, but I'm waiting for the picture to pop up.
Let me know what it does.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Let me see if I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello? Do I need to up the mic?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me get it set back up. I can hear myself now. Can you hear me? Hello? I can hear it. Can you?
I know, but it's to make sure it's clear.
I know.
I have it pretty far.
That's why I'm asking.
No, that sounds really bad. If you want to bring it down onto the bucket next to you.
Yes, gotcha. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me better? You gotta let me know, hon.
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Okay. Good.
I'll come down and help you adjust in a second.
Yeah. Alrighty. Mwah. Distant kiss. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Long Walker's Theological Thursdays. We are back for a while. I got to go to the San Francisco Pride Street Fair and just found out I didn't see anybody else there. I only saw one other preacher guy, and he was further down. But apparently Bo Diddle was there. I did not see him, though, and that makes me mad. I wish I could have been able to talk with him and stuff. That would have been awesome. But either way, I got a lot of stuff, and I mean, they say that these things are family friendly, and when you're walking around seeing what they're showing there, yeah. I mean, from what we saw, I didn't go to the parade, but the parade seemed pretty family friendly enough. It seemed decent, and there was no nudity that I saw within the parade. But when you went into these street fairs, because it was in a closed off section, and I just walked around, I videotaped what I saw and all that, and yeah, it gets pretty bad in there. How they get away with it, I do not know.
Like at first glance, it looks like just like pretty much like Whiskey Flats, you know. You've got the vendors, you got, you know, it looks like, you know, that's all pretty kosher and everything. And I think that's the problem, because from that angle, it does look like, oh yeah, everything's fine. It's just a family-friendly little event, and then bam,
you get hit with it.
Yeah, you're blindsided by, you know.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. And there was a lot of it that I got blindsided by. That is for sure.
I mean, 10 minutes in.
Yes, 10 minutes.
And you're like, there's a guy full nude wearing only a backpack, and I'm like, yeah, it's not, I'm like, that can't be legal. And I looked it up, and it is legal.
It's legal within San Francisco Pride to be in that event and do it. That's why I said that with the parade, I don't think they can get away with it because it's within public streets.
Right.
Now, when they're closing off the streets and hosting this event with street vendors, it becomes a whole different thing.
But there's no warning. There's nothing on the website. There's nothing on the gates that say, hey, just brace yourself. You know, if you have little ones, to, you know, just be.
No, they tell you, you know, little ones welcome and encouraged and
yeah.
Bring them. Let's have fun. Let's do all this. And then you get hit with this whammy of crap all in your face.
And they're trying to say that it's like, well, you know, nudity is not sexual. You know, it's not sexuality. Yeah. You need to separate those things. But it's like literally, it's an event that is supposed to be celebrating sexuality.
And I mean, some of the ways that the guys were doing it, I still say is a sexual way.
Well, dude, yeah, like, yeah. And I mean, one guy, I guess you'll see. I mean, I blurred everything, but you know, he was like, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, and they.
And like I said, they had the rings and shit. They go around, you know, the whole thing, like around on by the skin. Yeah. Not like Prince Albert's, but.
Right. No, I know what you're talking about.
And it's like, as far as I know, those are all sexual.
Yeah, and the guys were giving out hugs and stuff.
Yeah, the naked guys were there giving out hugs.
And it's It's like, come on, man.
No, my son and grandfather went and we did Nintendo Store beforehand. Got to go see that experience, and then they went and did China Garden and stuff. You got to go see all that fun stuff.
The Japanese.
The Japanese, yeah.
Yeah.
The Japanese garden and everything.
That's cool. At least they got.
Yeah, he got away from it.
There's no way in hell would have let him go, and he's 15.
No. Yeah, he's 15, and there's no way in hell.
And yet you saw kids that were like.
There were some in strollers.
Some in strollers. There were some toddlers. There was some that were like 7 or 8 years old.
Yes.
There was a couple teenagers. I don't know.
I mean, you guys be the judge. I got the video. That's the whole reason I did it. And for all of you too, if you're in the Bakersfield area and you've heard of any of the No Kings 2.0 protests going on tomorrow, let me know. I have to go to town to do some stuff, and I wanted to see about getting video of that too. So if you know of any, let me know. I think I saw one for sure that I got to locate and find out. But so far, that's it. So, all right then, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on all of my highlights. And
I got some little factoids about the San Francisco Pride that I screenshotted that we can go over while we're watching this. So don't tweet it this time.
Okay.
Just make sure it's full screen.
Let's keep going.
You can describe what's going on too.
Full screen, see?
Yep.
I got it. No. I will. You can see queer is joy. That was the theme.
Queer joy is
resistance, yeah. This was outside, them bikes. But I thought it was really cool.
Well, like, you have these things and like that, and that's like literally geared toward younger people.
Yes, see, this was the only guy that I saw that was not there. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am getting closer to the street there. This is as I ran into one street preacher already. Guy, I talked to him for a minute. I got some video footage. So we are getting over there. This was outside, right here.
This is
See, this is where I would have expected it to go.
right.
All across the country.
There was over 300 vendors, and then you see, obviously see the, what do you call it?
Dumb dog.
Dumb dogs, yeah. Not dumb dogs, dumb. This is the church.
Yeah, God, the original they, them. It's like that's not what they meant by that.
No. See, kids. And look at the way the parents are dressed. I think it was the parents. And then this one right here. Check out this guy. Walking right by those kids. Just had on a jacket. That was it.
Oh shit, I didn't catch that.
Yeah. But you can't tell that there wasn't anything there, but that's all that you have to say.
It's like, how can you say it's not a sexual event when he's looking to go and celebrate a sexual event?
It is, yes. That's exactly what they're celebrating. This was Saturday. I got there about noon 30, and left about 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Which was my mistake, and I think that's why I missed Bo. I think he probably got there about 3. All the cops.
Like this Reddit, it says annual reminder, humans is part of our culture and along with it.
No.
It says I just don't get why pride needs to be so sexualized because our sexuality is exactly what we are. Right?
Yeah. And that's what they say.
I can't turn it off either.
I'm sure there's stuff I'll say about it. Pause it.
All right, so this is an article from the Washington Post, and it was written 4 years ago, but it's relevant still.
Yes.
And there's a lot of comments on it that are from the community, from the LGBT community, and they are not in favor of this article. This is the article. I'll read a little bit, then you can go and I'll read a little bit more. It says, yes, kink belongs at Pride, and I want my kids to see it. Children need to know that they can make their own ways in the world. Our family often took the train into Philadelphia, but as we rode across the bridge to attend the city's Pride Parade 5 years ago, my wife's leg bounced with a nervous jitter. She squeezed my hand, worried that she might run into a colleague or be harassed by a stranger. My wife is trans and wasn't out at the time, so she typically only expressed her authenticity in the privacy of her home. That morning, she wore a green skirt and light makeup, brushing her hair all to one side. Even though we'd attended Pride marches and protests in previous years, that day was our first celebrating openly as a family. Eye roll worthy, but whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, so when our children grew tired of the marching, we plopped onto a nearby curb. Just as we got settled, our elementary schooler pointed in the direction of oncoming floats, raising an eyebrow at a bare-chested man in dark sunglasses, his black suspenders clipped onto a leather thong. The man paused to be spanked playfully by a partner with a flog. What are they doing? My curious kid asked, as our toddler cheered them on. The pair was first of a few dozen kinksters who danced down the street, laughing together as they twirled their whips and batons, some leading companions by leashes. At the time, my children were too young to understand the nuance of the situation, but I told them the truth, that these folks were members of our community, celebrating who they are and how they like it.
Wow.
There's more, but I'll break it up in between here. So yeah, we can talk about that. Go ahead.
That's ridiculous.
So we got kids that are like not seeing normal sexuality. Stuff right
Yes.
away. I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You can say there's more.
I mean, they can't allow that.
I'm not neighbors allow it, they encourage it.
Yes.
It's like that's
And say, oh, well, this is our true self. This is who we are. And it's like, no, kids are supposed to be innocent.
yeah, what happened to them? And it's like, I mean, everyone's wrong with nudity per se, but
A lot of it needs to be kept in privacy.
yeah, like it's not it's exhibitionist, and you know when there's exhibitionists that are out there doing awful.
No, exactly.
It's not sacred.
Oh,
Because the way they're dressing and the way they're acting is not sacred.
I know. That should say a long ago.
I mean, even in the desert, when we wear very thin things, we're still covered up because you just break your shit on
Oh, I know, that hurts. What? No.
Oh yeah, this is how trans people flee violence in Africa.
Just trans people. Because, okay. That gets me there. Because, for one, a trans person would be in even more danger, especially in the Middle East.
Absolutely.
That tells you a lot.
Absolutely. So yeah.
They would not even be considered out there.
No, and as you see, like the Muslim community, we know that they can't even think about having gay thoughts, or
Yes.
they can't even think it. Otherwise, no, you're just your back is turned. You're not part of it. And there's a church that you'll see here that has all these different resources and services, and one of them was Islam and Muslim.
Yeah.
And it's like there is no way. Progressive Christianity is one thing, but
Yeah.
this, like being Muslim and stuff.
I know.
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
But Buddhism, which is probably the most accepting, wasn't even listed.
I know. See, that's just it. They're so backwards.
Yeah.
No.
All the corporate sponsors. You got Safeway, and then it was Chase Bank. Yeah, Hendrick. You'll come up here to shows. You'll see things. That's what that pink thing is. Giant things. Yeah, Calvary Church. I should have grabbed some of the flyers for the flyers too. But I didn't.
Yeah, I was really curious about that.
There's another one of the furries.
There's another thing too, because the furries are not sexualized. Well, what the hell are you doing at a sexual event then?
Exactly.
I mean, it is pretty, like, just mellow looking. I mean, it doesn't look as a hell of a lot.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably close to dozens of people so far. Guys, all hanging out.
It does.
This is a place
Because that's where a lot of
I
people
don't
are often. They're like, well, see, if you go to this
I
event,
mean, to allow a kid to come
it looks good.
the utter abomination.
Yeah, if I do anything.
To allow a kid
But
to
this
see
is a
diet
big
pictures
totally
the
fine.
Yeah.
whole time.
And that's what we did
Ladies and
basically.
gentlemen, let
We
that
cut
be a
pieces out so that
It's a San Francisco
you can
pride.
see towards the end
Pride
what,
is an
why.
abomination.
Look at the crocheted dicks and balls.
Something I really want to know. Okay, what is this? You said this is.
Body erotica or something.
That's not in the 18 plus.
No, this is not. There is an 18 plus section.
Yeah.
See, this is the 18 plus group, which I go in later. I'll leave it here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was just passed up by 4 people.
this was cool. He was pointing at me to donate. I donated a couple of dollars.
And just kind of look your eyes field. You see like innocent looking people. You see a bunch of young people. You see a
Yes.
bunch of children. Way more than I saw.
Especially if you have an old bigger screen and you really start to nitpick and see the stuff. This was like blocks of stuff. I mean, it was probably 4 blocks this way by maybe 5 blocks this way. Yeah.
And I mean, there's people that were straight up nude, and then there's people that might as well have been nude.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
There's the trans.
Yeah.
Alright, pause this and say, I'm continuing this article.
Yes.
Okay, so the kink community has participated in Pride since its inception, risking their jobs and safety to be authentically themselves in public. It's not something that you do in public.
No.
We
It's
all have
not.
our things that we do, and it's supposed to be a sacred thing that you do in private.
Yeah, you're not supposed to even say in public what you do.
Why do you need to?
You don't.
Still, every year as Pride Month approaches, a debate erupts about whether kink belongs in Pride at all. Those hoping to oust kinksters often cite the presence of children as their top concern. That was pointedly the case this year when Twitter users argued that kink at Pride is a highly sexualized experience that children should be shielded from. I agree.
I do too.
Thousands of users supported these posts, claiming that kink at Pride crosses a line because minors also attend the events. I agree that Pride should be a welcoming space for children and teens, but policing how others show up doesn't protect or uplift young people. Instead, homogenizing self-expression at Pride will do more harm to our children than good.
I mean, that's
When my own children caught glimpses of kink culture, they got to see that the queer community encompasses so many more non-traditional ways of being, living, and loving. What is wrong with traditional?
it's not, and that's where it needs to go back to. It needs to go back to
Even within the LGBT community,
yes.
it needs to be.
Well, even most of them are saying what happened to the traditional ways.
Right, and you see it even
Why?
in here.
Yeah.
As much as I want them to spend time in queer spaces so they can be with families like their own, I also want them to know that they shouldn't limit their understanding of what relationships or expression look like wherever's most familiar. I want them to see that they can make their own ways in the world and know that they'll be supported and celebrated by their community. So they could just decide that they're going to be rapists, and that's okay. You're going to be loved and supported.
Well, they're already supporting the young minor attracted people.
Yeah, there's something that says that's about in here too.
And that to me is the stupidest thing that group should do.
Yeah, there's half of the community that's saying, "Oh hell no, we will not add that to."
No, because they don't want to be lumped in with that.
Right.
That's not what they're trying to do.
There's a whole organization. It's like men, boys love something or other coalition. I don't know.
God.
If we want our children to learn and grow from their experiences at Pride, we should hope that they'll encounter kink when they attend. How else can they learn about the scope and vitality of queer life? Anti-kink advocates tend to manipulate language about safety and privacy by asserting that attendees are non-consensually exposed to overt displays of sexuality. The most outrageous claim is that innocent bystanders are forced to participate in kink simply by sharing space with the kink community. Yeah, it's just like pornography. If you watch that stuff, it changes your brain.
It does. Yeah.
Changes
Yes.
your entire perception
Absolutely.
of everything.
I mean, we've gone over that on a couple of different ones about pornography and all of that. It changes everything.
As if the presence of kink at Pride is a perverse exhibition that kinksters pursue for their own gratification. It seems like
Yeah, it
they
is.
do.
It is.
But kinksters at Pride are not engaged in sex acts, and we cannot confuse their self-expression with obscenity. Co-opting the language of sexual autonomy only serves to bury that truth and muddies the seriousness of other conversations about consent. If this all sounds familiar, it's because anti-kink rhetoric echoes the same socialized disgust people have projected onto other queer people when they claim that our love is not appropriate for public spaces. It's a sentiment that tolerates queerness only if it stays within parameters, offering the kind of acceptance that comes with a catch. See, they want hedonistic,
Yeah.
like instant self-gratification, no rules, no limits.
They do.
Ever, anywhere.
Yeah.
Not
Exactly.
just at home.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm expressing myself,
Yeah, I'm just expressing myself all over the ground.
The middle-aged white men who I grew up with said they were fine with gay people as long as they wouldn't be subjected to PDA, as long as all signs of queer love could be outwardly erased. queer people's freedom to be themselves is, according to this logic, contingent on non-queer people's freedom from exposure to it.
Well, and see, this is the thing, is they try to say, well, yeah, but the queer people and the gay people just like to show affection more than couples. And it's like, I don't even like it in normal couples, like as far as going overboard, making out,
Right.
doing this stuff. No, there's a place somewhere else for it. You don't need to be showing that off to people.
Holding hands and like a
Yeah,
peck
of
on the
course.
cheek or something, or
And that's perfectly fine with,
chaste kiss, that's fine.
and that's fine with the gay community too.
Right, yeah, but yeah, I agree. It's like it's like the noise of it and stuff. People are making out. I
Yes.
don't care. It's just like no, dude, it's distracting. It's just,
Yeah, it shouldn't be allowed.
It's gross, The arguable difference here is that many of the latest objections are coming from self-identified queer people, so their own community.
What is queer again?
I mean, it's just gay. It just means weird, and it's like technically under that vernacular, we could be queer.
Well, but they render something different because they're like gay people are this and this, and then if you're queer,
It
if
just
you're,
depends. There's a couple different
I'm so lost on it.
Let me finish this and
Yeah.
then we can move on to that, and then I'll go into the comments. That shouldn't necessarily be surprising. Respectability politics demand that queer people assimilate as much as possible into cis and heteronormativity, hewing to mainstream culture standards. Members of the queer community have internalized those norms to the point that we judge ourselves by them, and then criticize and ostracize others if they don't uphold them. This is the same oppressive message that prevented my wife from transitioning for 30 years, and the same message that still keeps marginalized children from coming to terms with their own experiences with desire and embodiment.
No.
Self-control.
What it is, the kids are only doing it because they like the attention. They like what they're being fed. It's a whole bullshit.
On one of these phones, I have screenshots of like this family that has 3 LGBTQIA plus children. One's trans, one's gay, one's non-binary.
Look at Hollywood.
Right, and just about everybody in the comments, they were like, "Yeah, I come from a rainbow family too," and it's like,
No, you don't.
Don't, dude.
This is all
This is not normal.
crap that they have been putting in your head
Right.
now.
Yeah. And it's so funny, it's like this shit came out in the past 10,
Yeah.
15 years or so when they started saying that sex was not really that sacred for anybody.
I mean, my own line has quote unquote to the father and the daughter,
Right.
both trans.
And then on your mother's side, she's
Yeah.
married to it.
She's married to a
So it's
trans.
like, what are the odds that within your small circle alone,
But it's only supposed to be like 1% or something. It's supposed to be something
less than 1%?
very small that they're supposed to be, and yet
We
there's
don't know
3.
that many people.
No.
And and we even knew another trans that was up here.
Yeah,
she
we
was,
did.
She was
true.
a long time ago.
Yeah, she was true.
And I would say that Kyle would be as well, but
Yeah,
it's
that's okay.
But it's still kind of amazing that they are all coming out.
But a lot of them, it's because it's either they're getting a bunch of time on their YouTube channel because of it.
Right.
They're getting attention in other ways.
Right.
They're running from something.
Right. And a lot of people, it's fashionable. It's I forgot what they have a term for it now, but it's like trend sexual. Because it's a trend.
Yeah.
And they're like falling into that rather than being something to cope with dysphoria. It's like, oh, I'm trans. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like,
I'm trans. I can go into a woman's restroom now.
yeah, it doesn't matter if I pass or not. I just say it, and
Yeah.
that's enough. That is dangerous thing.
That is.
Like, I'm all for trans that want to actually go the distance, and I would still encourage them to look within themselves and see why
Yes.
you can't be comfortable. But if they just can't, then at least go the distance.
Yeah, do it all.
Mm-hmm. But and as far as children go, it's like, okay, let them socially transition from
Yeah,
us.
but
see
no.
what they-
You have to
what
be
they-
18 years old before you start doing any
any
work.
kind of medications,
Yes.
any kind of surgeries, and it's like, honestly, you should wait till 25.
Yeah,
or
you should.
whatever, you
But
can't-
18, you can't control past that
Right,
point.
exactly.
So it is what it is.
But it's like, if they're like 14, 15 years old and they want to wear a dress, if they're a boy, go ahead, go for it, and
Yeah.
then see if you're embarrassed by it later.
Especially like Halloween or
Right.
those, I mean,
Just start
really.
start there, yeah. Start there and see how you feel. If it
Yeah.
makes you feel free and good, maybe do it a couple times. You know,
Like,
and
there was an article on a guy that his son, to an anime convention, wanted to go as like Harley Quinn,
no
and he let him and stuff, and there's backlash on that. But it's like that's different. That's
character.
yeah.
I mean, because it's not fair that there's a bunch of girls that dress like in guy
Yes.
stuff. There's so many Marios and stuff. The girls dress
Oh,
like
I know.
Mario and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
that way.
I definitely don't see a problem with that as a character.
Yes.
You know? And when Lady Gaga came on the scene, man, like, I swear to God, there was a year that just about every guy went as Lady Gaga.
Well, and she's been called trans a lot in real life.
I know.
That's what a lot of people have thought.
She does have masculine features. She's related to the Sedgwick line. It shows in the eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
She's got these dark circles, and she has the more Italian nose, but but she's definitely an advocate for trans rights and stuff too. And
I know.
It's like, Pink. She's saying, if you're pro-life, don't listen to my fucking music again. Well,
I have lost all respect for her as a person
I've
in
heard
general.
so many of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, who can say that's half
And another one that I like, an actor that I like as far as his roles, and he plays a lot of good ones, but I've lost so much respect for, is Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm. He has trans children too.
Yeah. Well, most of Hollywood does.
Yeah.
If you look into
Yeah.
it, it's almost every single one of them.
Yeah, and I mean, not just one in the family, but every single kid.
And that's a big jump in the bandwagon. So that's how you know.
Right.
Look at that and be like, yeah.
Yeah, it really diminishes the problems that the real ones have had to go through. The gays.
Yes.
The
I know it makes
trans.
makes their story just that much less.
Just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, dude, these people actually suffer. These people actually struggle.
Give shout out to Marcus.
Marcus Dibbs.
Yeah.
Offensive Tranny.
Offensive Tranny. He's a great one.
Buck Angel.
Buck Angel. Boyer White.
Blair White. Yeah, I saw her the other day.
Yeah, she was versus Lily. Lily Tino was trying to call.
There you go. There's two opposing sides of the spectrum.
Lily Tino is just a complete and utter disgusting hog.
He's a troll. It's like he's literally doing this as a kink. I just freaking know it. It's like pushing boundaries.
I mean, going to Disneyland.
Going in the bathroom.
Going in the bathroom. If you're going to Disneyland and, I got my pop.
Every.
There's kids around while he's doing this.
Yeah. It's like, you have got to and see, everything that he designs is in fact like made for children. The way he talks, the Miss Rachel thing.
I'm not a sir. Yes, you goddamn are.
We watched the Blair White one, and Kristen was like watching these kids that just like didn't back down on him. There was a couple of like based teenagers, and they're like, "No, sorry, sir."
Good.
And, yeah,
that needs to happen.
And he's such a pansy. He just sits there and it's just like, yeah, well, okay, well, this is going on.
It's like a knife in my
You
chest.
have no fucking idea.
Really?
You have no idea. Come on. And it's like, it's only been like 4 years since he decided to start transitioning.
All right, let's go find something out. Somebody go. Let's go stab it and find out if it's the same.
Feel the same?
No, don't do that.
No. We're not advocating violence.
No.
No.
Go.
Yeah. Go ahead and do a little bit more
Yeah.
of this, and then continue. Charlie?
I mean, it's amazing, these big guys that look like bikers or everybody else are there.
Or even good boys,
Yeah.
like...
That's one of the most common things you see is that freaking flag on the back.
The cape?
Yeah.
It's like, it reminds me about Mario when you get the cape and Look at this small child.
Yeah, this kid
with the
trans flag.
That's
A trans flag, ladies and gentlemen.
That's so sad, Oh.
But also, I just wanted to say, watching this and looking at your average group in here is probably, what would you say, like 16 to 18? Is the average person within this?
Probably.
Look it.
Probably.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Straight up right there. That's 6. That I would say falls in that range. And then if you keep watching, they're the ones that look so off. the dress, the women dress all really weird, or the guys dressing like
Most
girls.
of the guys that are naked though are older.
Yeah.
And it's like that's creepy.
They're like 30s. I
yeah,
would
at
say.
least because I've seen that some of those guys are like definitely
Older,
in their
yeah.
60s.
They're older than us for sure.
But
But there's a couple of them.
40s, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's like they got this arrogant look, like they're just like daring you to say something.
Yeah.
And it's like it's.
And there's kids walking around. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most disgusting things to me. That they are okay with that. That nobody there. I mean, all the cops watched, and there's nothing that the cops can do.
There was somebody was talking about like people like knowing you're in another pride event or something, or a particular part of town where there was nudists. And the girl was like, yeah, they're really like the nicest people. They'll ask you from way down the street, say, oh, because you're still Girl Scout cookies. And then they would be like, can I come down and see, what you got to sell? And they would ask her from a distance.
That's cool.
And be respectful.
I respect that.
They were like the nicest people. But this is not that. This is like,
no.
What are you going to do about it? Here I am, taking, and it's like.
And, according to the law, they cannot get in trouble, ladies and gentlemen, at that event.
Right.
Within the confines of this compound.
Right. But, and it's like, okay, so put that on your website.
Yeah.
It's not on the website.
No, it's not. It's not posted anywhere outside either of
it's
that
like,
whole
hey,
thing.
Just a caution, heads up, you might see nudity here. If you're not comfortable with that, then go away.
Then please don't come in.
No, they want.
And they should not allow children.
Right.
If they're allowing nudity, no children.
I mean, when you went to Las Vegas and you went to a nude show, you had to be a certain age. You had to be over the age of 18.
You do.
What is the difference?
I don't see it.
That's Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Did you want to go over something?
What the hell is that?
Then there's this thing. Playing still. Look at the average user.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. And then quite a few Asians too, we noticed. Yeah. This is the anus.
This is a giant eagle. And it's talking about like the cancers and stuff that they get.
Yes.
And on the other side of it, it's like a cancer awareness thing. You see children walking over here. Yeah, see, this is like the thing for like cancer awareness. And,
yes.
And then right over here, there's a child.
Yeah, look at that.
It's just like, well, just taking it
Look at another younger one.
Yeah,
but a little older.
Yeah, but not really.
Oh.
And then there's this guy who looks like a total.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect place, even if
Native American Health Center.
Even if the people themselves are not pedophilic, this is the perfect place for pedophiles to blend in.
Yes, it is, exactly.
And exhibitionists.
Well, that's just that whole thing about the minor attracted people.
Yeah, right.
That's what that is.
Right.
Look.
I guess it's not really anything, I guess it's always kind of been about that age group no matter what, with this radical thinking, but...
College, mostly.
And your dad was like, okay with this?
I guess.
And then watch this guy, look at this, please.
This guy doesn't even hide it. He just stared at him like, whoa. Look at ATMs. And that's what I was saying. The ATMs, I can only imagine, for those people to pull money off, how much it would be. Like $5 to $10.
Easily.
It was 10 a pair one year. Like a $10 piece.
That's crazy.
And people were okay with that because they wanted to go do stuff.
They're drunk.
Yeah. They're drunk here too.
Yeah. I mean, even this, really, come on, really classic.
I know.
It's guaranteed to run into some bad apples. It's like for every good one, you've got a bad one there as well. And how are you supposed to tell them apart?
Yeah, I know. But I mean, still, the age still.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
And look at this one's got a baby bottle. I
Yeah.
saw a couple people with those. It's like, so you're selling baby bottle themed things. That's freaking weird.
Kink. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's not sexual.
No.
It's not. No.
See, that was the map.
Yeah.
We just passed. It might even be more than 5 by 6. This is some park that was like right in the middle of it. I thought that was pretty cool.
There's people relaxing out
But you
there
see all the
and everything, and-
all the flags, the gay flags. Here's what it is. Oh, on the way home, I think I ordered that one going to Grandpa's. I got a pizza. There was a stand in the market. Yes.
And I had to ask her, these guys look like about your age or yeah, this one's pretty cool.
I love that chocolate. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, I agree, this does not look bad. It doesn't look bad. It's a nice, easygoing environment.
Or the bad team.
And the poems of nakedness.
Like I said, I don't know how the cops did it all the time watching this stuff. I mean, I was going nuts just being there. I was only there for like 3 hours.
And it's like, how is that sanitary?
Yeah, because then they go to sit down or something
Yeah.
naked. Yeah, I mean, then you're sitting down on their. Yeah. So look at this guy holding his kid, young kid right there. Okay.
All right, continuing our article. Children who witness kink culture are reassured that alternative experiences of sexuality and expression are valid, no matter who they become as they mature, helping them recognize that their personal experiences aren't bad or wrong, and they aren't alone in their experiences. So, again, just put them into the most degenerate shit possible.
I know.
No, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
You know. I can't think of a more relevant or important reminder for youth who often struggle with feelings of isolation and confusion as they discover more about themselves and wrestle with concerns about whether they're normal enough, including kink and provide open space for families to have necessary and powerful conversations with young people about health, safety, consent, and most uniquely, pleasure.
There's the kink thing, and that's, oh, am I normal enough?
Yeah.
You know, is my kink bad enough that I'm going to fit in with these people?
Right. And then talking about pleasure, and it's like, yeah, but it's hedonistic, you know. See, they're searching out pleasure instead of duty and
Yes.
honor, and then having the pleasure come to you through those means. No, we're going to seek pleasure, and they're teaching
Exactly.
their children that, and that is just a recipe for disaster.
It is.
And it's like, I came from an order that was dedicated to pleasure, but it was pure pleasure, and it was even something as simple as just eating a chocolate or giving somebody a hug and giving them the warm,
Yes.
fuzzy feelings. But they're going straight for this
kink.
hardcore sexuality.
Yeah, it's the kink,
Yeah.
the sexual,
Chase that pleasure, yeah.
Yeah. the pleasure. I mean, pleasure means quite a couple of different things. You've got the kink side of it, and then you've got like pleasure as far as how you feel, the normality of it.
Yeah, I feel that if you are doing it within the confines of marriage, if you're doing it within,
Yes.
a good monogamous relationship where you have consent and you're
Yes.
like on the same page in every aspect, the pleasure will be immeasurable.
Well, yeah, and it's like I mean, there are some pretty weird kinks out there, but they're within their confines of their marriage. They're doing it together. They both know. They both approve, and it's a whole thing. And that's one thing.
And I still do feel
And they don't go out usually and
do
be
it-
like, "Oh, hey, we're doing this.
Right.
Look at us."
Right.
That's the biggest
there's
thing.
like swinger culture and stuff, and I still kind of have issues even with regular like hardcore kinks within marriage and everything, because it's like, well, what are you chasing that's so broken? You know, why
Yes.
do you have to do that to feel anything? That's like not good.
Exactly.
But whatever, at least they're not doing it out in public. That's for them to work through with the gods and themselves. But
Yes.
this is like, no, you chase that pleasure no matter what in front of everybody. And dude, no. No. All right, kink visibility is a reminder that any person can and should shamelessly explore
Yes.
explore what brings joy. It doesn't bring joy. And
No.
excitement. Joy and excitement, those are two totally different things.
Well, and it's like, yeah, that a lot
Shamelessly.
of that will probably bring joy and excitement. That's not what you're looking for.
Joy? No, it won't bring you joy. Remember,
Yeah.
joy is an eternal, like, deeper feeling.
Okay, yeah, then the joy.
Happiness
is what it'll bring.
is fleeting, and
Yes.
it goes away pretty damn quick. It's superficial. There's no depth to it.
That's what any of that would bring.
Yeah.
Generally.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But shamelessly. What is so wrong with having shame?
There's nothing. I mean, that's what keeps you on a straighter path.
Yeah.
Because if it's shameful, it shouldn't be done.
Right. Shame. I mean, if you feel that in your gut, tugging in your gut, even if you're not a religious person, you feel like something is wrong here. There is a reason.
Yes.
All right. We don't talk to our children enough about pursuing sex to fulfill carnal needs that delight and captivate us in the moment. Hedonistic pleasure.
Yes.
Sharing language of kink culture with young people provides them with valuable information about safe sex practices, such as the importance of establishing boundaries, safe words, and signals. I mean, they're going right to this instead of having like a meaningful, loving connection with.
No,
your partner?
that's not what they care about. They want this, at the moment pleasure. That's it.
Hedonistic.
Yeah.
Safe words and signals affirming the importance of planning and research and the need to seek and give enthusiastic consent. It's disgusting.
Right there.
I never want my children to worry that exploring any aspect of consensual sex or touch is too taboo. Okay, well, when some older person comes and starts fondling your toddler, then just be like, oh, that's.
Well,
that's
yeah,
fine.
and then so what? You don't care.
He's exploring that.
Well, you don't care if later on down the line too, your kid who grows to be an older man is going after 13-year-olds.
Right, exactly, or worse.
Yeah.
If we're afraid to talk about kink with our children, we prioritize the status quo, sanitizing and censoring their access to information about appropriate and normal self-expression. Not that those things are appropriate and normal.
No.
These are the very attitudes that made pride necessary and life-affirming for so many of us in the first place, and we have no business.
Life-affirming.
We have no business imposing them on the next generation. Kink embodies the freedom that pride stands for, reminding attendees to unapologetically take up space as an act of resistance and celebration.
Wow.
Refusing to bend to social pressure that asks us to be presentable. That's a value I want my children to learn. Affirming the kink community helps our children love themselves and others with courage and resilience. If you love somebody, you hold them to a higher standard. You tell them no more often than you tell them yes.
Yeah, I know.
If my wife and I had seen such fierce, determined role models as young people, we might have learned to be ourselves much sooner. Yeah, I'm sure you would have.
Yep.
We didn't have that chance, but my children have that community and pride, and I want to keep it that way. All right.
So it just tells me everything I need to know about that person. They're egotistical. They seek self-pleasure.
Yes, Washington Post. I'll leave a link to it in the description when we're done here.
Yes.
And this is what the readers are saying. It said the comments overwhelmingly criticize the article for promoting the exposure of children to kink culture at pride events, with many expressing concerns about potential harm and inappropriateness of such exposure. Commenters argue the public displays of kink are not suitable for children. I'll read some of those comments here. Not suitable for children and equate it to grooming or child abuse.
It is.
Some express disappointment with the publication for giving a platform to these views, while others suggest that pride events should have separate spaces for adults and children to maintain appropriate boundaries. Yeah, I mean, like having just a regular fair for the kids is fine.
Yeah.
Keep the drag queens out of it. Keep the kink out of it. Keep the nudity out of it, and we don't have a problem.
Yes, and it's like the drag queens at school, like going to the schools. No, it should not be allowed.
And from a drag queen himself, they were like, why did you want a drag queen reading to your child? There's something honorable about that.
No, because a drag queen most generally does it for the self-pleasure and for that. It's supposed to be adult things It's usually, they can do the stripping, they can do, whatever they feel comfortable doing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a comedy thing. There's
Yeah.
there's humor involved, but it's always sexual and it's always over the top. And it's like, why do you?
Yeah, kids should not be involved in that.
It's like burlesque.
Yes.
It's the same thing as burlesque. And good God, it's like common sense. It's just not common anymore.
No, it's not. Do you see the one of the stands that is the main thing? Chocolate. All right, start this again, and then we'll go through some more comments. We have. I know. We have two. I went a couple of different ways around trying to get a view of everything. So look at this. She must have ran into Bo before me.
Right?
Almost. It's like almost a 25.
I don't.
Look, this is what I'm talking about. And they love it. They're dressing up. It's a problem.
It's like they want to be themselves, but it's like they're just doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. Yes. And I think they said that there was some kids in the 18 plus. If we.
I had read it in the Reddit for this, and they were talking about how, like, if you accompany your child and you actually want to go with them, you can. But I didn't catch it. Yeah, I didn't see any of that. I guess.
I really want to go back to the I did break down and get one thing. I got Mario hat. Yeah, it was. It doesn't necessarily mean car. You see these two that are really walking after that one.
First station.
Yeah, this is the first station that was outside, and I've got a whole thing I'll post later about that. I did a whole experience there. I don't know, but I saw just go down the road and said, "Yeah, that's
What awesome it is. The call to action has to be made, ladies and gentlemen.
I went back in after.
All right.
So I had to take a break and I was trying to find some bow and stuff. But... Yep. Sunglasses, $10.
Adrian's calling you.
Did you see that?
Mom hug.
Flag for it.
There he is. See, but it's not sexual, right?
Yeah.
Some of these shirts,
Yeah.
they're like, that's not in the 18 plus section.
No, it's not. It was for normal people to see.
Like, don't you remember even at Spencer's, we used to have to go to a separate little area for the stuff that was like 18 plus?
Yes.
For the
and you had to prove it.
Yeah.
Just like here, I did have to prove and pull out my ID and stuff for.
A lot of the stuff is like worse than when we
I know.
were in the Spencer's 18
Yes, it is.
plus. Sure.
Look at that. Look at that kid right there. And then right near the little gay shop.
Big worse again.
Oh, of course, yeah.
At least it wasn't in one of the dominatrix shops,
Yeah.
which there are many of the Maybe like
Just get more
Quick
meat
info.
mass.
Look how tall this one was. I mean, that's crazy.
the other one too. That
Yeah.
we got the short people. I mean, for the most part, it just does look just like any other kind of street fair. I don't see much wrong with it at all.
No,
And bam, you're hit with that kind of shit.
you would see a very quick glance right there.
I did my best to do that. I really tried to go as much as I possibly could.
Y'all not coming in here.
Yeah.
This is all pretty much like dominatrix stuff.
Hit little fuckers.
Yeah, sex toys, comfort devices, the leatherware.
Yes. And there's even a spanking thing. You'll see right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's in the 18 plus area. So in my opinion, there's a bunch of other stuff that should have stayed in the 18 plus area, including the nudity.
Yeah. This guy coming up. I think. Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see him in the blurred version. That's at the end there.
The guy that was in there, like, robe and stuff.
Oh no, he's
Yeah.
there's a priest. Quote unquote priest.
Oh, he's rocking out.
And looking right at our book
Yeah.
here. There he
You'll
is.
see him right there. I mean, you see it all. I mean, it's,
Okay, so this is the super inappropriate stuff.
yeah, that's one of the guys. That was my first 10 minutes in. That's what I saw.
I mean, you got
Another
the
one.
ones with the straps and
This guy wasn't quite naked, but here's him doing the free hugs right here. They're standing right there on the
naked
side.
free hugs.
Yes.
Right where there's kids around and
You see this guy a couple of times.
yeah. He's wearing like a mask. Like
These ones are talking about one of their areas.
there's the pillows again.
Again. Two more. Another one.
And these are the kids that turn around and are like, what, you know?
Yes.
See, there's four in the same area. Cause see, there's the same kids. So they had them this side and the other side.
And there's this
Yeah.
really weird
Okay,
one.
yeah, this, yeah. As it says, this is a giant inflatable a-hole. Yeah. And then another one.
Swinging. There's the one we've seen a couple of times.
Yeah, it's him. And yeah, what do you call it? Like a wrestler mask.
Yeah.
He's wearing like a wrestler mask. You're getting called again.
No,
This one.
nothing I can do about it.
And this one here, man, this was nasty.
Yeah.
All painted up and like he had it like tied and stuff.
There's one
What do they
that's
call it?
hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be at the end of this. Yeah, see some of these.
The shirts, yeah. Talking about slave daddy and
Yeah.
bouncing.
And then this is called seamen. Hanging
Yes.
out naked, so it's like seamen, like you see them and also, you know. Seamen.
And this is supposed to be family friendly. Tell me how this is supposed to be family friendly for any of them. Knobs and bobs.
I mean, like this could just be art. I've seen, like
Yeah.
I said, I've seen Greek art the same with, David, hanging out.
And it is what it is.
Normalize non-monogamy.
Yeah, not right there. There's that open marriage again.
There's that guy again. This guy.
Yeah.
This guy was, art and
He was near that spanking
Near the
place.
ball gag thing.
Yeah.
And look at this. I swear to God. That is not family friendly to me, you
No,
guys.
that was exactly it. That was my experience there. We got a whole video that'll be coming out too that Daughter Rotten here is trying to work on and get done. So we'll have that coming out. You have all my shorts that I've been posting.
Yeah,
all that
we've got
content.
what you typically expect to see at Pride, the vendors and all that stuff. And then it's like, is it really family friendly? And it shows like how many children and stuff are there. And then basically what you saw there with the
Yes, that's exactly
the
right.
blurred
Yeah,
nudity. And I'm gonna get some screenshots of some of the other stuff because it kind of goes fast, but it's like a little bit questionable.
it is.
You know?
That's for damn sure.
So I'll be putting those in, as well as some stuff from their very own website where it tells you that children are encouraged to
Yes,
come
yes.
and
Please put that in
participate.
there to let people see that.
So let me read a couple of these comments.
Yes, and then we're gonna find Bose.
So go ahead and find Bose while I'm
Okay.
doing that.
Hey.
Is it right there?
Yeah.
All right. So Pride celebration.
We don't want to give these people any more footage.
I want you.
Okay, Pride celebrations, formerly Gay Pride, are no longer about celebrating gay lives and love, but have somewhat become a celebration of queer, which in my experience as a gay person is mostly heterosexuals who define themselves as that because they think their own sexual expression is more daring than that of others. We in the gay community fought for years to dissuade people of the notion that we were somehow dangerous to children. Articles like this put us back decades. We will have to deal with the fallout.
See, part of the problem is no, not all of you are dangerous to children, and we've always known that.
Yeah.
But there is those select few that are.
And how are you supposed to know?
You
Yeah.
can't. You have to take everybody with a grain of salt.
This whole thing here, you know?
Yes.
And it said we will have to deal with the fallout while straight couples like this one can just identify their way out of it and go on their way. Why on earth did the Post publish this trash? I realize this is post everything, but I didn't think it was to be taken literally. Does anyone with an opinion, no matter how warped, get equal space here? The author of this article is like an exact caricature of what the anti-gay people in the 1990s said acceptance of same-sex attraction would lead to, exposing children to gay filth. Why did the Post choose to publish this? Whatever consenting adults do in the privacy of their own homes or clubs is their business. That's right, there are clubs and stuff that you can go to. In private spaces, people can explore the fullness of their creativity and individual expression as they wish. Public spaces are shared spaces. Restraining oneself in public is not oppression, it is considerate of other people's tastes and social norms.
Yeah, because not everybody likes the same things. It's called courtesy.
The most outrageous claim is that, as if the presence of kink at Pride is a perverse exhibition that kinksters pursue for their own gratification. This was a quote from the article.
Okay.
And then this is the answer. Except for some, it literally is. Haven't you ever heard of exhibitionism? Exhibitionists are opportunists, and unregulated pride will attract them like flies. Are you telling me the guys who are into being led around on leashes and being humiliated aren't?
Yes. Oh.
Oh wait, no, here. Aren't getting off to that very public display of submission knowing there are others who disapprove. Either kids or kinks need to go, and while some children identify LGBT, there is no kink that is part of LGBT acronym. Kids are allowed to be in public. Masturbation is not. I think it's easy to decide which should be welcomed and which needs to be toned down for the good of all.
I like that person's.
This guy here, Brian Dolge, he kept replying on everybody's stuff, and he was like, going to a bullfight and then complaining that you, as a PETA member, are offended is ridiculous. Demanding that people whose sexuality you do not appreciate conceal their existence is bigotry. The same as an atheist demanding no one wear a cross in public. It isn't the same.
No, it's not.
The gay people will put this stuff together to be accepted, to say, hey, come share in our community and see that there's nothing to fear. And then these other people have come in and said, you have something to fear.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Not right. The slippery slope hypothesis is unfolding just as predicted. You are a woman in a heterosexual marriage. You do not have the slightest authority to yoke lesbian and gay sexuality with the idea that children should be exposed to sexual paraphilias. I lived through Section 28 when the kind of view or espousal was given as a reason to paint every gay person as a pervert. You are damaging equality with every word. You are regressive. I just want to marry my girlfriend and hold her hand without being called a pervert. You have made it harder to. And this is from their own people.
Community.
And this Brian
See,
Dolan.
it reminds me of like a mirror and stuff, with what he said.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, he's spoken very openly about it. And then also, what's his name? Ty.
Yeah, Tyrera, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This Brian Dolgic in response to that. You want something that I do not want, therefore I hate you. Same thought, a lot fewer words.
Yeah.
It's not about hatred. It's like you've made it very difficult for their entire community just by saying that.
Well, because it's exactly that. It's a kink and it's a fetish and it's what they get off on, and that's not what the other people are about.
No.
Pride had a whole different meaning to them.
This will resonate with you here. A lot of fetishes are rooted in childhood exposure to a stimulus that gets accidentally conditioned to be associated with pleasure and then reinforced over time by continual exposure, just like pornography.
Yes.
Kids exposed to kinks in their formative years are certainly more likely to develop themselves, and yes, you can be a healthy person and have kinks, but those tend to be folks who discovered them later in life. With children, there's a risk of paraphilic disorder when the kink becomes so intense that the person can't connect intimately with others because they only get pleasure from their kink, or become pathologically addicted to their fetish to the point of duress.
We knew a couple.
Yeah. Self-harm, financial, legal troubles. When someone goes down this path at a very young age, it can become deeply ingrained in their psyche like this. I had little boundaries and supervision growing up, and I am speaking from personal experience here. I can't connect intimately with other human beings, and it's driven me to be suicidal at times and put me in multiple dangerously abusive relationships. I'm 28, and I still don't know even what my orientation is because all I have is my disorder. I've been in therapy for it for many years, and I'm still in recovery. I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
No, and I feel sorry for that guy.
Exactly.
And this is all because
of an exposure
and a lack of supervision.
Yes.
Parents being like, "Oh, I'm a cool parent.
Right.
I'm not gonna come down on them for doing that. I'm not gonna
But
be that. Well, I gotta lay the law down type of parent, which that's what you need to do.
Yeah, because you need to explain. It's like if you do this, this is likely to happen.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with doing. You're not being a bad person. You're
No. You're putting a line down and saying, listen, in order to be a good person in society, this is how you need to be.
And mentally, physically, your own. So you're going to put yourself in hell. And this is just accidental exposure.
Yes.
And what they're talking about is not accidental exposure.
No.
Exposing them on purpose to kinks and everything.
Yes.
And like I said, you can, I suppose, have a healthy kink and have a healthy, balanced life later on when you find those yourself later.
Yes.
But having them at a young age, you're going to think that is the normal.
And then that's a problem.
And then that's
and
all
like
you
I
got.
said, then you can't communicate or, get with people the same way. You have to have twice as much stimulation.
Yeah. It's like
it's a big problem.
You can't be alone. You have a hard time being
Yep.
alone. It's just this whole thing. You're almost 40 years old and it's still a thing. And it's like really hard for you to have empathy.
Yes.
And that was nothing near like the kinks they were talking about here.
No, not at all.
It's just like exposure to pornography and things of that nature.
And pornography is, for the most part, all bad.
Yeah. No, I don't think, with the exception of what I would call erotica, which doesn't have anything to do with real people,
Yeah.
then, I think it's all bad.
Yes.
If it has real people, forget it.
Yeah, it
Like anime stuff. Writing, but it depends on the writing too, because some of the writing is like kind of way explicit,
and we're finding out now that even AI is making it worse.
Yeah.
The teacher.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There was a teacher that literally got caught with his classroom, and he had his students' pictures in weird positions.
Yeah, he used
AI to do it.
Like, the students' faces on sexually explicit bodies.
Yes. And AI can do that now.
Yeah. Oh my god. I showed you some of the AI that I've done.
I know.
Just talking to me here, right? It's fucking crazy. Alright, so this guy, this Brian Dolge, again, he's like a fucking crusader on here, trying to dissuade these people and everything. He was like, everything that somebody said, he had something negative to say. He said, I believe that what you say about your psychological problems is what you believe, and I hope you find healing. but your first 3 sentences are not true, and that is not my opinion. It is the opinion of the vast majority of clinical psychologists. The first 3 sentences. A lot of fetishes are rooted in childhood exposure to a stimulus that gets accidentally conditioned to be associated with pleasure and reinforced by time. But continue. That is not. And then kids exposed to kinks in the formative years are certainly more likely to develop them.
Yes.
And with children, there's a risk of paraphilic disorder. Those are legit.
They are.
I mean, come on. There's more. I'm probably gonna put them into the video.
Okay. We'll just leave those in.
But yeah, but everybody is in this one. I agree with Matt Walsh. You should be in prison. And I'll leave the link so you guys can. It was from 4 years ago, but it's still very relevant. It's relative
relevant
to this day.
It's crazy. It's probably more relevant and needed right now than it was 4 years ago.
This is just the beginning. The person doesn't want her kids to be groomed into sex objects to be used. She wants your kids to be exposed to this to teach them that anything goes. You wonder why homeschooling exploded and people moved from California, New York to red states. Yeah, they were just saying it's sexual abuse, it's child sexual abuse. How did this get published? I didn't think the Washington Post could go this low. What the hell are you doing? Oh, and then here we go. What's next? Inviting NAMBLA back to the parade. NAMBLA stands for North American Man-Boy Love Association, a lobbying group of pedophiles who were kicked out decades ago. And then there's like a middle-aged lesbian here. I'll read this last one and you can move on to those. It says, no, just no. Middle-aged lesbian here, back in the 1980s, we, the gay and lesbian community, put an enormous amount of energy into showing people that we were loving, caring human beings who were not a danger to society, to our workplaces or our neighborhoods. Nobody I know even goes to Pride events anymore because they are no longer about celebrating our community, but instead mostly a bunch of straights like this author and kinksters trying to outdo themselves, being edgy and daring and shocking. No one wants to see your kink, and no child's understanding of sexuality is enhanced by being exposed to strange, naked grown-ups doing role play or pretending to be dogs. If you want to engage in that kind of play in private or with a group of like-minded adults, fine, but leave the kids out of it.
And that's sad. That's so sad that they fought that hard.
And nobody even goes anymore. Yeah, so I'll put the rest of these in the video and some of the other information that I found. But, this quote-unquote family-friendly event.
Yes.
And as you'll see here from Bo, apparently he's never been, and he was shocked by the nudity as well. He was like, didn't really know how to handle that. So.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's why I wanted to play it. This is the Trans March. Now, I had seen it and I wanted to go to it, but it was Friday when we were traveling. So I might have to go a day sooner for the next one, so that I can make sure to get to all the events.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll never make it to the Pride Parade because that's on a Sunday.
Yeah, and I just won't do it. That's our family day. That's our day of.
It's a sacred day.
Sacred day of just being, So no, but I can still get what I can get for you guys.
And we'll have to go a little bit later, I think.
Yes.
Like start at 3 o'clock and then go to the evening.
Go till evening. Yeah. For sure.
So it looks like that's about like when he was here. It looks like he was kind of on the evening.
I think so. Yeah. All right.
You to get out.
Yo. Whoa. Holy crap. What the actual? Why can't you down here again? I put a
God,
I'm getting
most funny.
All right, guys, we're in San Francisco at San Francisco Pride. And not only have they blocked the streets and completely taken it over, they have taken over the lights. You have one right here. You have one right there. You have one on the other block. This is in honor, remember, guys, this is in honor of trans visibility. The theme is resistance is joy, or queer resistance is joy, something like that. This is the way they act to remember trans people. So we're at San Francisco Pride. What makes San Francisco Pride different than other places? Because I've been all around.
Yeah.
there's not been a place like this.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco is just a really great queer space. Honestly, I haven't been to other prides before, yeah, I mean, it's the energy here is obviously just electric. And there's just like, obviously this was such a huge turnout and there's just such a huge community and it pulls a bunch of people from the surrounding areas here. So it just makes this a huge event. Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff going around in the country right now. Do you personally feel as if your LGBTQ rights are being stripped away?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like, I mean, we're definitely at a point where we're being persecuted a lot. And it's really important that we show up to stuff like this. Yeah, to kind of just show that we're here and that we're not going away and that, you know, no matter what anybody does, we're going to exist. And there's no way that that's going to change. Yeah.
Do you feel as if conservatives are a danger in any way?
I don't know if I want to continue this interview, honestly.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Have a good one.
It's just a question.
What are you interviewing for?
I'm just talking about Pride. Do you want to do one?
Sure, why not? What's up?
Alrighty, so we're here. We're at San Francisco Pride. What makes San Francisco Pride different than any other place in the country?
I mean, there's a lot of queer people here. What do you want?
No, I don't mean like that. Like, the energy here is a lot different.
Yeah, everybody's more open. Everybody's like more able to be themselves, and there's a lot less hate. You see a lot of people that in other societies would probably be hated on. So you know, there's a lot of queerdos out here, and we love it. So.
And there's a lot of stuff going around in the country right now.
Yeah.
Do you feel as if your LGBTQ rights are being stripped away?
Yeah, I do.
In what ways?
Healthcare. Healthcare. Also, like, we never really had a lot of rights. To be honest, there was never really discrimination protections, especially in terms of employment and housing. So, you know, we're already pretty close to not having a lot of rights to begin with.
Do you believe that conservatives are posing any danger to the LGBTQ?
I don't know what you mean by that. Conservatives is a pretty broad term.
Yeah, just conservatism in general. Do you see if do you believe they are posing any threat to the LGBTQ?
I think I need you to specify what conservatism means. So,
those who have traditional values, traditional conservative values.
I would say there's a high overlap between people who have traditional values and people who are and or. So I'd say the issue is really more with the phobia and not really with conservatism. But you know, if conservatives want to tie themselves with, that's their deal,
Yeah,
right?
fair. And here, I've never been to San Francisco before. This is my first time. I've saw a lot of nudity here.
Okay.
Do you think that that's healthy?
See?
I don't see why nudity would be unhealthy. God created you naked, didn't he? God created man naked, didn't he?
Well, I mean, it's illegal in other places. So this is like the only place it's legal.
Lots of places have things that are legal that are not legal elsewhere. I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah. My question is, do you think that that's healthy?
I don't think it's very healthy for people who don't know the culture to come in here and ask like leading pointed questions about that culture.
Those people are terrible.
Yeah, totally.
And last question for you. Do you believe that it's safe for children to be in these types of areas where naked people are around?
Yeah, totally. Because this nudity is not sexual. This nudity is not sexual at all. This nudity is about expression.
That's why we saw people.
Same as on a nudist beach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen,
But
please tell me.
we got an issue with Puritanism in this country, right? We got an issue with people who have these values about what kids should be allowed to do. This is an adult event. We're all adults out here. Do you see a child?
Well, I did at Dolores Park.
Okay, that's a park. Yeah.
There was nude people there.
So do you have any more questions?
I think that's it. Do you have anything final to say to the camera?
Yeah. If you don't get the culture, you shouldn't be here. You should go somewhere else. Just like we left all the places that we left to come here where people get our culture.
Yeah, those people are horrible. They should leave.
Yeah, you should leave.
Oh, I should?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about you. You should go. You people should go.
I'm
It's
just
not
asking
cool what you
questions.
I don't care what kind of questions
That's
you're
all he
asking.
does,
It's not
ladies
cool
and
what you're
gentlemen.
doing.
Ask questions.
I don't
You
have
can't just
opinions.
come
I'm
in
just
here.
asking questions.
You can't just come in here and farm us for content like this. This is taking advantage of people on the street.
Well, I mean, if you want
We're
your
the
message
public.
out, I'm just getting
You should
message
get a real
out.
f***ing job.
This is a real job.
Is it a real
Don't disrespect
job?
my job like that.
Who the f*** is paying you?
Oh, I'm
You're getting paid in attention, aren't you?
multi-millionaire.
You're a bit of an attention whore, aren't you?
This is a joke. Right?
Directly, sir.
Yeah. So maybe you should get the f*** out. Because I don't like the time. And I don't want you here. I don't want you here either.
That's just kind of rude. I haven't been rude to you. I'm just trying to ask questions.
I think you are rude. I think you are extremely rude for being here.
I'm just
I
trying to
don't
ask
think
questions.
We don't want to give these people any more footage. We'll just escort them out.
Thank you.
A
I
lot of us
appreciate
here.
that.
Thanks.
Is there an issue?
Yeah.
What's the issue? What's the issue?
You guys coming for?
What's the issue?
We have a press liaison up at the truck you're welcome to talk to.
Well, right now you have my cameraman just kind of blocked in.
No, we don't.
There's plenty of place
Oh.
for y'all to go.
Yep.
There's so much space for y'all to go.
I'm just kind of confused. I was just asking questions.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are just asking questions.
I was just asking questions.
It doesn't look like
You
they
can
want
go
to
ask
talk to you.
questions somewhere else, dude. Ask some other questions. Ask some better
Do
questions.
you have any advice? What could I ask better? Like, do you want to talk about the NBA
How about
Finals?
you go away? How about that?
Better.
There's people here who obviously don't want you here.
I mean, these
They're
are
asking you to leave, and you're not respecting them.
No,
I'd be more than happy to
Who the
squash
fuck
the beef.
cares?
Do you want to squash the beef?
I don't want to squash the beef. I think you should go away.
I just want to squash the beef.
I think I don't want to squash your damn beef. I want you to leave.
I don't want you to squash my beef. I wanted to squash the beef.
I don't care what you want. Just like you don't give a what I want, do
I
you?
do. I'm trying to ask
Oh,
questions.
I want you to get the out. That's what I want you to do. Would you like to
I
do
don't,
that?
I don't think we're
Would you
wanted
like to
here.
do that? Hello. We are all asking you to leave.
Okay.
Can you please leave?
I was just trying to ask questions.
I don't give a what you're trying to
I
do.
just simply don't care what you're trying to do.
I don't give a what you're trying to do. You could keep trying to farm content, yo. But this is the thing. Y'all are losers. Y'all are losers. And the whole world is seeing this.
I was just trying to ask questions.
Get out.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, get out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Holy crap! Holy crap, guys! I'm gonna get. Oh my gosh! What is she doing to me? What is she doing to me? Oh my gosh! What is she doing to me? What is she doing to me? Ah! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It's getting crazy! Holy crap, guys!
Okay, so for those of you that don't know Bo's work, he trolls, and I guess it's probably a really good way to keep people away from him. I mean, he's clearly over exaggerating here, but he has been in some really dangerous positions.
Yeah, he has, for
including
sure.
the one that's coming up here was pretty dangerous.
Yeah, this isn't even the start of it. So
Right, but yeah, he's a pretty big troll when it comes to that sort of stuff. But, I mean, in my opinion, he's always been like respectful of people.
Oh, of course he
Some
has.
days
Yeah.
When the very first one I ever saw of him, he was checking out an LGBT church, and he wasn't getting any answers from these people. And this big guy came and he got up in his face.
I'll have to do that one.
Yeah, I love that one.
That is such a good one.
This guy gets up in his face and he's like, "You just need to go." And he's like, "You need gum." It just caught me off guard so bad. It was like, "Oh shit." But yeah, they wouldn't even answer his questions and stuff, and they kind of like ushered him out. And this old person like hit him and everything. It was crazy. It's like,
I know.
and he doesn't really antagonize. He just asks questions, and they can't answer those questions.
Exactly.
It makes them like freaking crazy, I guess. But yeah, so this is what. There's nothing going on to that degree at this point, but he's just trolling. So.
You'll see.
I'm just here to ask questions. I'm just here to ask questions. I'm just here to ask questions. Holy crap. Holy crap. We're in San Francisco. It's not going good. It's not going good. It's not going good. Can you guys let my cameraman go? I have freedom of speech to be here. I have freedom of speech to be here. Please don't do that. My cameraman needs help. All right. You can get out of here. You can get out of here.
You touch someone one more time and you're out of here.
Oh, I'm the one touching. All right. You can get out of here. Holy crap! What the actual?
He's touching me.
You gotta go.
I don't have to go anywhere.
you know,
Don't-
this is going to be.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Over here.
Holy crap! Get this on camera!
I see you on here again. I swear to
See, where's his camera?
I'm getting.
Yeah. So now it's gotten removed. And
Holy crap! Holy crap! What's your problem? What is your problem? What is your problem? Holy crap, guys. Holy crap.
Yeah, we got chased. Yeah, we got
Thank you guys for watching this video. Love you guys.
Calm down.
I'll see you guys in the next video.
A few moments later.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
We got an office.
Is it parked illegally? What's the deal?
They feel violated. So if you don't leave, then I'm gonna have to call SFPD. All right. Thank you. No worries.
Good. Good luck. Maybe next time. We'll get back again. And as I said, I'm gonna try and get some footage of the No Kings protest tomorrow too. For any of them that are in Bakersfield, I just gotta find them. I'm down for a little bit to get groceries, so I figured might as well try and get some more footage so we can get more stuff to you guys. You know, this world's gone crazy lately, and there's so much going on.
It's interesting, like how like people are. I mean, okay, people are like attacking people. You saw this there.
Yeah.
And then there was another lady that we watched, her Patriot Voice. She got punched a little while ago.
Oh my God, yes.
And then she just got spit on and attacked.
I know.
And like people are like, they're just like deranged.
I'm waiting for something to happen to Liberty.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she keeps getting banned from farmers markets, or they try to ban her from farmers markets, and she has to go and,
Yep.
you know,
And she
execute
knows her
those
limits,
rights.
so
Yeah, so that's nuts.
it is. And also, I'm gonna try to do a live stream on Saturday night for our fireworks show that we're gonna be going to. We're gonna be at the Lake Isabella, and I figure I might as well do a live stream and show you guys the fireworks, and you know that way we can get some footage going more on there. So if you're around and you wanna check it out, watch, you know, that'd be awesome.
And the video will be dropping probably this weekend.
Yeah, we'll try.
Probably by Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday, so you can stop by and see
Yeah.
get that, and then
Yeah,
you
there
got
you
your
go.
live stream that day.
There you go. So, yeah.
So, yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Namaste out there, and stay safe in this crazy world we live in.
You can end it. Just go back to stream here.
I'll do it again.